Have you ever felt a coldness seep into your soul? Not the chill of a winter wind, but the icy, silent grip of emotional distance. Have you ever reached for someone with your heart wide open, only to find a wall, not of brick and mortar, but of silence, of excuses, of a presence that is physically there but emotionally a million miles away? This is the landscape of the avoidant. And if you're in that space right now, if you feel that familiar urge to pull back, to build the fortress, to choose solitude over the terrifying vulnerability of connection, I need you to listen to me. Your entire life is being dictated by a single primal force, the fear of pain. You have convinced yourself that by pulling away you are safe. But I am here to tell you that the fortress you have built to protect your heart has become the very prison that is suffocating your spirit. That silence you use as a shield is slowly starving your soul. You are not avoiding pain, you are avoiding life itself. But today, that ends. Today we initiate 3 profound shifts that will not just change your relationships, they will liberate your entire existence. Right now, your nervous system is like a hypersensitive alarm system, set to go off at the slightest hint of emotional exposure. A difficult conversation, siren blares, retreat. Someone expressing a need from you, lights flash, withdraw. The potential for rejection or engulfment, full lockdown, activate walls. You have been conditioned to believe that this emotional discomfort is a 5-alarm fire, a life-threatening emergency that must be escaped at all costs. So you run. You distract yourself with work, with hobbies, with solitude, with anything that can numb the rising tide of unease that real, raw human connection can trigger. But here is the fundamental truth you must grasp. You have conflated discomfort with danger. Discomfort is not deadly. It is the gateway to everything you have ever wanted. Think of a muscle. When you go to the gym and you lift a weight, what happens? The muscle fiber experiences microscopic tears. It burns. It is uncomfortable. In that moment of discomfort, your brain sends signals to stop, to put the weight down, to flee the pain. But if you persist, if you breathe through that burn, what happens? The muscle repairs itself. But it doesn't just go back to what it was. It rebuilds itself stronger, denser, more capable than before. Your capacity for emotional intimacy operates on the exact same principle. Every time you choose to stay in a conversation when your every instinct is to run, you are doing an emotional rep. Every time you lean into a moment of vulnerability instead of shutting down, you are tearing that old, weak emotional fiber and building a new, resilient one. The avoidant pattern is a life lived in the gym, but only ever lifting the 1-pound weights. It's safe, it's comfortable, but you will never ever grow. You will never know the strength you are capable of. So how do we make this shift? We must consciously and courageously recalibrate your pain threshold. This begins with awareness. The next time you feel that familiar tightening in your chest, that urge to check out, to make an excuse, to create distance, I want you to pause. Just for 3 seconds. In that pause, I want you to label the sensation. Say to yourself, this is discomfort. This is not danger. I am safe. Breathe into that space. Feel the emotion fully, without judgment. You are not your urge to flee. You are the conscious being observing that urge. This simple act of witnessing creates a gap between the stimulus and your response, and in that gap lies your freedom. Then you must make a conscious choice to take one small, brave step towards the discomfort, not away from it. This could be as simple as holding eye contact for 1 second longer, or saying, I need a moment to process that, but I will come back to this conversation. It's about proving to your own nervous system, through repeated action, that you can handle this, that the emotion will not destroy you. That, in fact, on the other side of that temporary discomfort is a profound sense of empowerment, of connection, of growth. You are building your emotional fitness. And just like an athlete, you start where you are. You don't walk into the gym on day 1 and try to bench press 300 pounds. You start with the weight you can handle, and you consistently, persistently add a little more. Each successful engagement, each time you choose to stay present through the unease, you are raising your threshold. You are teaching your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, that connection is not a threat to be avoided, but a challenge to be met. This is not about becoming a different person overnight. It is about changing your relationship with a single, fundamental human experience, discomfort. Stop seeing it as the enemy. Start seeing it as your most powerful teacher, the very substance that forges a stronger, more connected, and truly alive version of you. Your brain is a prediction machine, constantly scanning your environment based on patterns from your past. For the avoidant, the deep-seated pattern, often formed in early life, is that connection leads to pain. It leads to disappointment, to rejection, to being smothered, or to having your needs ignored. So your brain, in its brilliant but misguided attempt to protect you, has created a default setting. The moment an interaction moves beyond the superficial, the moment true intimacy is on the table, your brain flips a switch. It no longer sees a person offering love. It sees a threat to your autonomy and emotional safety. It's like your internal computer is running an outdated operating system with a virus scanner that flags every friendly file as malware. This is not a character flaw. It is a neurological pathway, a well-worn superhighway in your mind that you have traveled down thousands of times. But neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change, is your key to freedom. You are not stuck with this default setting. You can install a new operating system. You can build new roads. This rewiring process is a conscious, deliberate practice. It begins with intercepting the automatic thought. When your partner wants to spend quality time and your immediate internal response is a groan and a feeling of being trapped, that is the old program running. In that moment, you must hit CTRL plus Alt plus Dol on your psyche. You must challenge the narrative. Ask yourself, is this person truly a threat to my freedom? Or are they offering me the gift of connection? Is this feeling of being trapped actually a fear of my own emotions? Then you must actively install a new empowering belief. You must consciously look for the evidence of opportunity. When you are in a conversation, instead of looking for the exit, look for the point of connection. Look for the shared humanity. Look for the small piece of information, the glimmer in their eye, the emotion behind their words that you can relate to. You are training your brain's reticular activating system, RAS, to filter for connection instead of threat. It's like when you decide to buy a new car, and suddenly you see that model of car everywhere. The cars were always there. Your filter just changed. You must become a hunter of opportunity in your interactions. Every single day, set an intention to find one small moment of genuine connection. It could be with the barista, with a colleague, with your partner. Your mission is to find it. This repeated, focused attention begins to carve new neural pathways. It tells your brain, this is important. Look for this. This is valuable. Furthermore, you must flood your system with new, positive reference experiences. The old pathway is strong because it's backed by a library of memories, real or perceived, where connection led to pain. You need to start writing new chapters. This requires you to take small, courageous risks and then, crucially, to celebrate the win. If you share a small vulnerability and the world doesn't end, don't just move on. Acknowledge it. I did that. I was nervous, but I shared something real, and I survived. It felt good. This positive reinforcement, this shot of dopamine and oxytocin chemically etches the new pathway deeper. You are literally bathing your brain in the neurochemistry of safety and reward, convincing it at a biological level that connection is not just safe, but desirable. This is not positive thinking. This is neurological reprogramming. You are the electrician of your own mind, patiently and persistently rewiring the circuits from a fortress of isolation to a gateway of profound, fulfilling connection. The avoidant pattern is a state of being hijacked. It feels like the emotions just happened to you. A wave of anxiety crashes over you, and you're drowning. A fog of numbness descends, and you're lost in it. You feel like a ship tossed on the stormy seas of your own physiology, and your only tool for survival is to batten down the hatches and retreat into the silent cabin of your solitude. But what if I told you that you have a hand on the wheel? What if you could learn to calm the seas and steer the ship? This is the power of state mastery. Your emotional state is not a random occurrence. It is a physiology and a focus. Change your physiology, change your focus, and you will instantly change your state. Let's start with physiology. When you feel that withdrawal coming on, what is your body doing? Your breath is likely shallow, held high in your chest. Your shoulders might be hunched, protecting your heart. Your body is closing down, mirroring the emotional shutdown. To break this pattern, you must do the opposite. You must use your body to tell your brain that you are safe and open. This is primal. Stand up straight, pull your shoulders back, open up your chest, and most importantly, take control of your breath. Breathe in deeply for 4 counts, hold for 4, and exhale slowly for 6 counts. This simple act activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system, and directly counters the fight-or-flight response that drives avoidance. You are sending a powerful signal from your body to your brain: stand down. We are not under attack. Now let's talk about focus. Where your focus goes, energy flows. In an avoidant state, your focus is entirely internal. It's on your own discomfort, your fear, your desire to escape. You are trapped in a hall of mirrors, only seeing reflections of your own anxiety. To break free, you must violently shift your focus externally. Get out of your head and into your senses. This is called sensory acuity. Look at the person in front of you. Really see them. Notice the color of their eyes, the tiny expressions on their face. Listen to the tone of their voice, not just the words. Feel the texture of the chair you're sitting on, the temperature of the air on your skin. By forcing your focus onto the external world, you break the trance of internal panic. You are pulling the plug on the fearful story your mind is telling you and plugging into the reality of the present moment. Finally, you must change the meaning you assign to the situation. The event itself, a partner wanting to talk, is neutral. It is the meaning you attach to it that creates your emotional response. The avoidant meaning is, this is a demand. This is a loss of freedom. This will lead to pain. You must choose a new, empowering meaning. This is an opportunity to deepen our bond. This is a chance for me to practice being present. This person loves me and wants to feel close to me. You are the one who assigns the meaning. When you take responsibility for that, you take back your power. You are no longer a victim of your emotions. You are the architect. You are designing your state from the ground up, brick by brick, breath by breath, and focused thought by focused thought. This is the foundation upon which all lasting change is built. Who are you? At your core, what is the story you tell yourself? For so long, the story has been, I'm better off on my own. I'm independent. I don't need anyone. I'm a lone wolf. This identity has been your armor. It has given you a sense of strength and self-sufficiency. But I need you to ask yourself a brutally honest question. Is that identity serving the deepest, truest longings of your soul? Or is it a prison sentence you handed yourself to avoid the risk of getting hurt? The lone wolf is not free. It is isolated. It is lonely. True power does not come from isolation. It comes from strategic, powerful connection. It's time to craft a new identity, one that incorporates your strength and independence but elevates it into something far more powerful. The connected leader. A connected leader is not weak or needy. A connected leader is so strong, so secure in themselves, that they can afford to be vulnerable. They can afford to open up. They can afford to connect deeply because their sense of self is not threatened by another person's emotions or needs. They lead their relationships. They set the tone of openness, of curiosity, of emotional courage. They don't wait for someone else to make them feel safe. They create safety. How do you make this identity shift? It starts with language. You must stop saying, I'm just not a touchy-feely person, or I need a lot of space. These are fixed identity statements that keep you locked in the past. Instead, you must use proactive, empowering language. I am cultivating my ability to connect deeply. I am practicing being more present with the people I love. I am a person who creates emotional safety for others. You are speaking your new identity into existence. Next, you must gather evidence for this new identity. Your brain will resist because it loves consistency. It will say, but remember all those times you pulled away? That's who you are. You must prove it wrong. Every single time you make a choice that a connected leader would make, you must document it. You must acknowledge it. Did you listen intently without planning your escape? That's a connected leader action. Did you share a feeling instead of bottling it up? That's a connected leader move. Write these things down. Create a portfolio of proof that you are becoming this new person. Finally, you must step into the role before you feel ready. You don't feel like a connected leader and then act like one. You act like a connected leader and the feelings follow. It's a fake it till you make it of the highest order, not being inauthentic, but practicing a higher level of authenticity that your old self wasn't capable of. Dress like the person you're becoming. Carry yourself with the posture of someone who's open and confident. Speak with the clarity and compassion of a leader. Your nervous system and your subconscious mind will get the message. You are not abandoning your core self, you are upgrading it. You are taking the strong, resilient lone wolf and giving it a pack, a purpose, and a profound new capacity to lead with love. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the judgment that something else is more important than fear. For the avoidant, the fear is the king, the tyrant that rules every decision. The fear of being seen as weak, the fear of being rejected, the fear of saying the wrong thing, the fear of opening a Pandora's box of emotions that you feel utterly unequipped to handle. So you choose silence, you choose ambiguity, you choose the path of least resistance, which is to say nothing, to feel nothing, to be a ghost in your own relationships. But this silence is a slow spiritual death. Relational courage is the antidote. It is the conscious choice to value connection more than you fear discomfort. It is the art of vulnerable communication, and it is a skill that can be learned, practiced, and mastered. The first step is to redefine vulnerability. You have likely seen it as a weakness, as handing someone a weapon they can use against you. I want you to reframe it as the ultimate strength. Vulnerability is emotional precision. It is stating your truth with clarity and compassion, without attachment to the outcome. It is saying, this is what I feel. This is what I need. I am sharing this with you not to control you, but to let you know what is happening inside my world. This is not about blurting out every fear and insecurity in a chaotic dump. That is emotional incontinence, not communication. Relational courage is strategic and thoughtful. It starts small. It begins with I statements. Instead of the avoidance classic, you're being too needy, which is an attack and will trigger a defense, the courageous communication is, I feel a sense of pressure when we spend a lot of time together, and I'm working to understand that. I need a little space to process my thoughts, and then I'd love to reconnect. Do you see the difference? One builds a wall, the other builds a bridge. Another powerful tool is to name the dynamic in the room. This is meta-communication. Communicating about the communication. It sounds like this. I notice I'm starting to feel the urge to pull away right now, and I don't want to do that. Can we pause for a moment? Or, it's hard for me to say this, but it's important to me, so I'm going to try. This does two things. It exposes the avoidant pattern in real time, robbing it of its power, and it invites your partner into the process, transforming a potential conflict into a team effort. The most courageous question an avoidant can learn to ask is, what are you feeling? And then to just listen, without trying to fix it, without taking it personally, without retreating, just listening to understand. This act alone will revolutionize your relationships. It moves you from being a passive, fearful participant to an active, engaged architect of the connection. Every act of relational courage is a deposit in the emotional bank account of your relationships. It builds trust. It builds safety. It builds intimacy. The fear may never fully go away, but your courage will grow so strong, so muscular, that the fear will become nothing more than a whisper, a background noise to the powerful, connected life you are now choosing to lead. You have been approaching relationships like a sprinter trying to run a marathon. You might have moments of intense connection, perhaps at the very beginning of a relationship, when the chemistry is high and the novelty masks the fear. This is often when avoidants are most present. But when the initial intensity fades and the reality of sustained connection sets in, you hit the wall. You don't have the stamina, because you haven't built the emotional muscle for the long haul. You've been trying to win the race with grand sporadic gestures, while the real work is in the daily, consistent, mundane steps. A marathon runner doesn't train by sprinting once a month. They train by running a little bit, almost every single day, rain or shine, whether they feel like it or not. This is the mindset you must adopt. Consistency is the magic ingredient that your relational life has been missing. It is far more powerful than intensity. Intensity is dramatic, but it's unsustainable and often breeds anxiety. Consistency is calm, predictable, and it builds unshakable trust. both in you and in the relationship itself. Your nervous system and the nervous system of your partner craves consistency. It is the bedrock of security. So, what does building this emotional muscle look like in practice? It's about the micro commitments. It's not about promising to be emotionally available forever. It's about committing to the next 5 minutes. It's the decision to put your phone down and make eye contact when your partner walks in the door. It's the commitment to ask one thoughtful question about their day and actually listen to the answer. It's a 5-minute hug without talking. It's a text message in the middle of the day that says, "Thinking of you." These are your emotional reps. They seem small, insignificant, but they are the compound interest of connection. A single rep does nothing, but 1,000 reps over a few months will transform the entire foundation of your relationship and your own capacity to be in it. You must schedule this practice. That's right, schedule it. If spontaneity feels too threatening, then take spontaneity out of the equation. Decide that every day from 7 p.m. to 7:15 p.m., you will be fully present with your partner, no distractions. Or commit to a 10-minute check-in conversation every Sunday night. By making it a non-negotiable ritual, you remove the internal debate, the resistance. You don't have to decide whether you feel like connecting. You just do it because it's what you do. It's part of your identity as someone who is building their emotional muscle. And just like physical exercise, some days you won't feel like it. You'll feel tired, resistant, scared, but you do the rep anyway. You show up. And it is on those days, the days you do it even when you don't feel like it, that the most significant growth occurs. You are proving to yourself that your commitment is stronger than your mood. This consistency builds a new kind of confidence, not the confidence that you'll never feel fear, but the confidence that you can take action in spite of the fear. That is the hallmark of true strength. Your brain is wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. Right now, your brain has been programmed to believe that avoidance is the pleasure. The relief of escaping a difficult conversation is your reward. The solitude after you've created distance is your reward. You are, in a very real sense, addicted to the neurochemical hit of relief that comes from withdrawal. You get a shot of dopamine when you successfully avoid the perceived threat. But this is a cheap, hollow reward that leaves you emptier than before. It's the junk food of emotional fulfillment. It's time to change your addiction. It's time to get hooked on the hard stuff, the profound, lasting neurochemical cocktail of authentic connection. When you engage in real, vulnerable, meaningful connection, your brain releases a powerful blend of chemicals. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone or love drug, floods your system, creating feelings of trust, empathy, and deep attachment. Dopamine is released in a healthy, sustainable way as you achieve the reward of closeness. Endorphins, natural painkillers, elevate your mood. This is the state you were designed for. This is the ultimate reward. Your mission is to consciously link the act of connecting with this incredible feeling. How do you do this? You must become a connoisseur of connection. After you have a successful, courageous interaction, no matter how small, you must pause and savor it. Don't just rush on to the next thing. Close your eyes for 10 seconds. Feel the warmth in your chest. Feel the sense of calm. Feel the pride of having shown up as your higher self. By doing this, you are neurologically stamping the experience with a "this I good" label. You are creating a new, powerful anchor. Over time, your brain will begin to anticipate this profound reward when faced with an opportunity to connect, rather than anticipating the pain of the past. Furthermore, you must raise your standards for what you consider a win. A win is no longer "I successfully avoided conflict." A win is "now I shared my true feeling," or "I asked a deep question," or "I stayed present even when it was hard." You must celebrate these wins. Give yourself a mental high five. Tell yourself, "Yes, I did it. I am becoming a person who connects." This positive self-talk reinforces the new neural pathway. You can also create a physical reward. After a particularly challenging and successful connection, do something you love. Go for a walk in nature. Listen to your favorite song. Have a delicious, healthy meal. You are creating a positive feedback loop in your brain and body. You are teaching your entire system that leaning in, not pulling out, leads to the greatest rewards life has to offer. You are replacing a cheap thrill with a profound sense of meaning and fulfillment. You're becoming addicted to aliveness itself. This is the final stage of the transformation. It's not enough to understand these concepts intellectually. It's not enough to practice them in controlled settings. You must embody this new way of being until it becomes your default, your truth, your essence. You must move from someone who is trying to connect to someone who is connected. This is about living as a beacon of secure love. A beacon doesn't desperately search for light, it radiates light. It stands firm and stable, offering guidance and safety to others. When you embody secure love, you are no longer a reactive participant in your relationships, constantly scanning for threats. You become a source of stability and peace. You create a gravitational pull towards health and intimacy. How do you embody this? It starts with a deep, unshakable commitment to your own worth. You must know in your bones that you are worthy of love and connection, not for what you do or don't do, but simply because you exist. This self-worth becomes your anchor. When you are anchored, another person's mood, their demands, their anxieties do not threaten to capsize you. You can hold space for their emotions without being consumed by them. This is what allows you to be truly vulnerable without being needy. Neediness comes from a place of lack. I need you to fill my void. Vulnerability from a place of strength is I am whole, and I choose to share my authentic self with you. Embodying this truth also means taking radical responsibility for your own experience. You stop blaming your partner for making you feel trapped. You recognize that the feeling of being trapped is an internal signal, a story you are telling yourself, and you have the power to change that story and your response to it. You become the calm in the storm. When conflict arises, you don't escalate or withdraw, you de-escalate. You listen. You seek to understand. You speak your truth with love. Your presence becomes a healing force in your relationships. This is not a passive state. It is an active practice. It means making conscious choices every single day that are in alignment with this new identity. It means setting and maintaining healthy boundaries not as walls, but as bridges of self-respect that allow for clearer, cleaner connection. It means leading with generosity, with curiosity, with an open heart. People will feel this shift in you. They will feel safe in your presence. They will feel seen, heard, and valued, and in doing so, you will not only transform your own life, you will become a catalyst for transformation in everyone you choose to let in. You are no longer the avoidant. You are the connected. You are the secure. You are home. This journey from avoidance to profound connection is not a simple, linear path. It is a heroic undertaking, a rewiring of your deepest neurological pathways and a transformation of your very identity. You have spent a lifetime building walls, convinced they were your salvation. But today you've been given the tools, the sledgehammer of awareness and the trowel of new habits to dismantle that prison brick by brick and to build a palace of connection in its place. Remember, the core of this shift is moving from a life governed by the fear of pain to a life led by the pursuit of growth. You have learned that discomfort is not your enemy, but your most powerful ally, the very friction that polishes you into a stronger, more resilient, and more loving human being. By shifting your pain threshold, you stop running from the very experiences that are designed to make you whole. You are no longer a victim of your brain's outdated alarm system. You are now the programmer, actively rewiring it to see opportunity where it once saw only threat. You have taken command of your internal state, using your body and your focus to architect your emotions, proving to yourself that you are not a passenger in your life, but the pilot. Your identity has been upgraded from the isolated lone wolf to the powerful connected leader. You now understand that true strength is not found in isolation, but in the courageous, vulnerable, and consistent practice of showing up for others. You are building emotional muscle not with sporadic, intense efforts, but with the daily disciplined reps of micro-commitments and authentic communication. You have changed your very reward system, trading the cheap high of avoidance for the profound, soul-nourishing fulfillment of authentic bonds. You are becoming addicted to the oxytocin of connection, the dopamine of courageous action, and the endorphins of knowing you showed up as your best self. So step forward now, not as someone who is trying to fix a problem, but as someone who is embodying a new truth. You are a beacon of secure love. Your presence is a gift. Your capacity to connect is your superpower. The world does not need more isolated, fearful individuals. It needs you, healed, connected, and powerful, to shine your light brightly. Go out and build the profound, loving relationships you were always meant to have. The journey begins now. Thank you for having the courage to be here to listen and to confront the patterns that have held you back. Your desire for change is the first and most important step. This is your time. This is your moment. Go out and claim the connected life that is your birthright. I believe in you. Now go and become the beacon. Goodbye and God bless.